So today's video is kind of personal. It actually means a lot to me, this topic. I have gone through many challenges in my life, as does everybody. But through those challenges, I've learned a lot. I've had a lot of things that I felt like were taken away from me, that I had no control over. And from that, at times I felt lost. And then I thought of something the other day that really picked me up and gave me a great reminder as to the importance of going through all of those things and what you can still be proud of afterwards. So when I was young, I felt like what I saw on TV was you have these friends who last forever. You have these relationships who you have from when you're super young until you're old, and they all last and they're all good, and oh, you just so many memories. And I haven't had that experience. I've actually lost a lot of friends. And maybe part of it is because I do a lot of creative projects, or we work on things together and it can get very personal. Still figuring out that personal/business line. But even in business, you could have things taken away from you that you put a lot of time into. I've been stripped of spaces and people and friendships and opportunities. And I'm not saying this as a victim. I'm saying this as a fact. Now feeling empowered about all of it. But one of the worst feelings is to work on something or develop something, create something, and then you lose it. And then because that has become so much of your identity, you feel like you don't know who you are anymore. And so how do you find yourself? How do you pick yourself up after that happens? Of course, one of the things is to stay true to you at all times. That's something I had to learn, is to not put my whole self into a project or into a relationship, right? That is an extension of me. It's not who I am. So if I lose that, I'm still me to the core. But when you don't have that sturdy core, you tend to sway a lot. And that's okay. But this is what I want to say to you in this video. If this sounds like an experience you've had communities taken away from you, or spaces, or projects, they can take all that. And people like Mel Robbins, let them. Let them. No. This is not a Mel Robbins take. But seriously, let them. I can't say let them the rest of this episode. They can have all of that stuff. They can have the community. They can have the projects, the spaces. Because something that they can never, ever, ever, ever take away from you, that's most important, is you. They can take the community. They can't take the fact that you're willing to pick yourself back up, go out and meet new people, go out and explore on your own. They can't take that away from you. They can take away your creative projects, but they can't take away your ambition. They can't take away your inspiration that God gives you. They cannot take away that connection with creativity, with inspiration, with divine guidance. They can take the spaces away from you, but they can't take away your grit to find another space where you can feel in control, where you can feel safe, where you can feel creative, You can feel yourself. No matter what they take from you, you still have your mindset. You still have your fire. You still have your compassion. This is what happens is people get stripped of things. They get stripped of projects that they put their whole life into. They get stripped of jobs, of relationships that they put their whole life into. And what do? They let those situations dictate who they are. Right? You get broken up in a relationship and you get so bitter and resentful that it's really hard for you to love. You let them take that love away from you. Right? Maybe sometime you worked on a project and somebody was an asshole to you. And you let that turn you into an asshole. So you are no longer a kind person. You are no longer the kind person that you used to be. You let them strip that away from you. But not anymore. You're not going to let that situation or that person dictate who you are truly. You are compassionate, kind, motivated, ambitious, gritty, determined, dreamer, and more. Hot. You're also hot and sexy. How could I forget? You have so many resources inside of you that nobody can take ever. That is the shit that does not have a dollar sign on it. You could sell a creative project for $10 million. Okay. Do you know how much gold you have inside of you to create that $10 million project? You have infinite amounts. And nobody can take that away from you. And in those situations where I have been stripped of these certain things, I am grateful for all of the experiences that I had in those times. I'm very grateful because in each experience I have grown in some way. Sometimes it feels like in my life, sometimes it feels like I'm spinning so many plates. I have so many things that I'm wanting to get better at that when I achieve something in one thing, I look at all of my other plates that aren't as high or spinning as fast. I don't know how that works. But I don't recognize this plate over here where I just did really a flip or something cool. And I'm like, oh, look at all these other plates. It's boring. It's just freaking not even spinning and stuff. Where was I going with that? So it doesn't mean that through these experiences you became this perfect person and you're like, thank you for this experience. Now I'm perfect. It's thank you for this experience because now I'm better. In some way. I have rebuilt my life many times over, and I wouldn't be surprised if I continue to do that as I live. But it's just like a house on top of house on top of house on top of house. Pretty soon I'll have a mansion. No, it's so cliche. It's so cliche that it doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. It's that you get up one more time. And how that speaks to me is coming back every time you get knocked down, coming back to you. Not just getting up, but coming back to you, getting back to the beautiful things about you. Because sometimes when you get in those situations, you can look at all the negative things about you. Look at everything I did wrong. I must have done something wrong. I lost some things. I got some things taken away from me. Must have done something wrong. And I'm not saying that none of it was your fault or none of it was my fault. Everybody should take responsibility for their role. However, that doesn't mean that you can't be the person who you truly are, who has those beautiful traits. The projects, the people, the places, all of them will come All of them are come. All of them will come. Some of them will go. All of them will go eventually. But you always have yourself as an anchor. So it's not like, oh, how big can I make this project? Or how cool can I make this relationship or place? It's how can I bring my best traits forward? This isn't something I want to say. So when you are rebuilding, focus on those beautiful aspects. Don't rebuild with broken bricks. Don't rebuild with moldy logs. I've never built a house before, but I imagine broken bricks and moldy logs aren't great. They aren't a great foundation. But don't rebuild your life bitter, because then they won. They won. They won over you and you let them. Mel Robbins. Shay Dominguez. You are the winner. You are the main character of your story. You win. Don't rebuild your life with bitterness. Don't rebuild your life with jealousy, with envy. Don't rebuild your life with regret, with anger. Rebuild it with solid foundation of the beautiful traits that you already have. You don't even need to find them. You already have them. Ask a friend. Or a parent if you don't have a friend. Or ChatGPT. Seriously. What are the beautiful things about me? I need help. I'm having trouble seeing them right now, actually. No matter what, come back to you. Because nobody can take that away from you. So I want to know in the comments, what's one thing that... So I want to know in the comments, what is one part of you that you will never let anybody have? Is it your kindness, your ambition, your grit, your visionary tendencies? I want to know. Comment below. Thanks for watching. My name is Shay Dominguez. This is the Level Up with Shay. See you next time. Peace.